Let thy enemy be scattered. Let those that hate thee flee from before thee.
Okay, so how and why did you and Acote Racayah get authorized to create the Committee for Child Safety and hold workshops?
And hold workshops.
Oh, hold workshops. Okay.
Yeah. What happened with that is after what happened with your and that was one of my major challenges. What happened with your Ima and your Dode, me dealing with that was a lot. The sense of shame and guilt as a parent that I had that I did not protect my children. I lived with that for years. It was like at least 8 or 9 years before I finally, and that was through therapy, going through therapy, that I woke up. One day I just realized, you no longer feel guilty. You no longer are living in the guilt that you did not protect your children. There's a difference between living in guilt and acknowledging something. I acknowledge that I didn't protect my children and that I wish that I had, but I no longer live in the guilt of it. But so after all of that had happened, your Dode decided he was going to take it outside of the community, which we were ostracized for taking it outside of the community. You went to the white man. How you going to go to the white man and get your own? There's some things that people need to be prosecuted for. I was going to say something else, but I won't say that.
I agree with the something else. That's crazy.
You know what I was going to say. So there's some things that, as far as I'm concerned, that cross the line.
Right.
And so... it was a lot. It just the sense of betrayal, the people turning their backs on us, no longer, talking to me. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people were afraid to be around me. It was a lot. So that's why I had to step away. But because people knew that I had taken this position at that point, this was before I left Israel. Acote Racayah came to me. I think it was a young she came to me. And a situation had happened that she had heard about with a 6-year-old child. And so she came and she was like, Racayah, I would really like for you to help me put this letter together to address this, because people saw that I stood up for my son.
Right.
So people wanted to see me, stand up for other people. I'm like, bump them, bump that. I ain't dealing with none of it. I'm through. I'm finished. And, she just kept talking and talking. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. You know me, when I take a position, I took my position. But before she left, I said, okay, I'll put together a letter. This is another one of those situations where the universe stepped in. My fingers typed the letter, but I did not write that letter. And when I look back at that letter, I don't remember writing anything that's on that piece of paper. And when I read it, I was like, who wrote this? Because it spoke to the energy, and it was a letter to Rahbe. And obviously it was the universe, spirit, because Rahbe got that letter and he responded as soon as he got it. Now, anybody who ever corresponded with Rahbe know you might send something in, you might never get an answer. Or you might wait 2-3 weeks to get an answer. He responded immediately. And he agreed to sit with us, So in the meantime, after finding out about your Dode, I began researching information. I started doing a lot of research about sexual abuse, about molestation, about children. And I found an organization. I cannot think of the name of the organization. I got the book in the front room. But I contacted this organization in the U.S., and they had that whole program that they sold to schools. And this program was probably like $1,000. It was very expensive. But I contacted them, and the woman contacted me back. And she said, I told her I was in Israel, and what was happening, da-da-da-da-da. She said, I'm going to see if I can find somebody to sponsor for your school. She found a sponsor for a company in Haifa.
Oh, wow.
And so the guy was in the U.S., from the company, was in the U.S. He brought all the materials. He brought them back to Israel, and he came down here to Dimona and gave them to me standing in front of Akvah School. It was, I mean, it's a big, thick binder, videotapes, all types of material, a binder this thick. I devoured that binder. I learned every single thing in there that I could about prevention, because I felt that it was important for our children to learn this information, especially coming from us. You know, when something comes from your own, it has another type of impact than when you get it from somebody else. So I devoured that information, and I started putting together educational packages, right? And so when Rahbe came in, and he said he would meet with us, he came to the MOI, the Ministry of Information office, just right there by the hilltop. And Shakati and I were in there. And he came in with Nasik Emmanuel, right? And so he looked like, he was kind of like, he wasn't sure. He didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
And so he came in, he greeted us, hugged everybody, and we sat down and we presented the information. And I presented the importance of the teaching element, and how we needed to do this, that, and the other. And I had the program all laid out. You know me. The program was laid out. And so he was like, he really appreciated us coming. He really did. He said he really appreciated us coming. And I think he said that, he really didn't know what to expect. But the energy that we came in was not combative. It was not attacking. It was for the good of our people.
Right.
And so he sanctioned us to go ahead and put together the workshops. Now, Nasik Emmanuel was in the meeting with us. He volunteered to be the liaison between the committee and Rahbe, And so initially it was me and Acote Shakadia. So we went out and found some other brothers and sisters to build the committee up, right? And so that's how that got started. Nasik Emmanuel at that time was in and out of the country a lot, because he had other assignments. And so he wasn't able to be in place a lot of times when situations would happen. And we had some emergency situations come up that I had to go directly to. And then Abba just started sending for me.
Right.
And so I would communicate with him and he would send information to me. I would send information to him, and so he sanctioned us going ahead and doing the presentation. So that's when we made the Silent Epidemic video, Silent Epidemic Child Sexual Abuse. And we made that as a teaching element. So I recorded all of that in my apartment over on Kofshe Lot. I would get off work and go home, and I'd look up and it'd be 3:00 in the morning. And I'd been working on it because I was pulling, information out of from off the internet. I had done other research. I had taken other online courses. I was just constantly training. So once we got it finished and he critiqued it and he looked at it, he's like, go for it. So initially the plan was to start with the adults to teach them, and then we would go to the children. It never ended up making it to that point, but we did get the adults covered. We went to the city of Arad. We went to the city of Mitzpe Ramon. I didn't go when they went to Mitzpe. And we did different entities in Dimona. And I have to thank Rahbe for sanctioning us to do that, because it opened a door that prior to had been taboo.
Right.
The subject of sexual abuse, of molestation had been just
Swept under the rug.
Swept under the rug. It had been, children had left the community. Children had been put out of the community. Adults, and it was good that he allowed that to happen. And I will forever be thankful to him. I wish more could have been done. We even took a weekend. We put together a whole package for how to deal with these situations, like punitive measures, the punishments and the warnings, and for every age level and every offense. We spent hours putting that together. We got that done, but it never went past us doing it. It never went in to get approved, to follow up. And at some point I left, so I sort of I dropped the ball on that, but I had to choose me. I had to choose my sanity and my peace of mind over helping everybody else. You can't help somebody else when you are in your own situation.
Right.
So, I had to get to that point. And I guess, was that before 2013, before I left? Or it must have been after I came back. I think it was after I came back, because I was working at Teva Deli at that time. that's when I got involved with my salon. Because my salon had actually, when your Dode situation happened, I was looking for answers. I didn't know what to do. And I found this phone number from my salon, the emergency number. So I called the emergency number and they sent somebody like the next day. This woman's name was Mikal. She was an older woman. She literally had stayed in our lives up until she retired from my salon maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But she would call and check on me. She called me when I was in the U.S. You know, she was really a gem. She walked us through every aspect of going to the police station to file a report, coming to visit Afran and getting a social worker for him, going to court. She went to court with me. She went to court with him. Because Masalan volunteers are to be there as your support. So that's what I ended up, the 9-month course that I took. Of course, I was the only little black person in there again. But there were so many women. A lot of them were college students at Ben Gurion in social work. Some of them had come off of kibbutzim. Some of them had come out of religious communities. Some of them had been victims themselves. You know, but I met a lot of great women through that program. So it was the 9-month program. Every Yom Shani, I think I went from like 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, you know. And I learned a whole lot. And consequently, because of my limited Hebrew, I didn't interact with Israelis as much. I basically was here for people from the community. So, you know, I've escorted people to my salon for them to do their interviews and their intakes. I've gone to the police station with people and supported them in that wise. I've gone to court with people, you know.
Wow.
So that's part of, you know, what I did. I don't do it as much now, but that's part of what I did do. I'm still available if people need me. But one of the things I do want to mention, though, is during that time, I began to compile a list of people who shared that something had happened to them. So if they shared it first person, if they shared it with somebody else and that person shared it with me, or if I heard it from the rumor mill, but I began to make a list of victims and offenders. And people would ask, well, I heard about this. How come y'all not sharing the names? How come y'all not telling us who it is? I couldn't. I can't say that someone is a sexual offender because I heard it, even if I heard it from the person, and they don't have a right to confront who it is that's accusing them. I could literally have gone to jail for slander.
Oh, because of Maslan, or this is like just...
Period.
Oh.
Anybody can sue somebody for slander.
Oh.
So I wasn't able to share the list. And then a lot of the people contacted me on Facebook Messenger. This was pre-WhatsApp. I don't think I was even using WhatsApp back then. People contacted me in SMS messages. People would stop me on the street. Parents would call me. People that had left the community years ago. People that I didn't even know. I'm like, who is this? I'm so-and-so. You know my dode so-and-so. And this happened to me. Literally. So,
can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? Like, just like it just kind of seemed like out of nowhere everybody just started putting, I don't want to say they baggage on you, but
some of it was their baggage some of their baggage was put on me, because a lot of victims just wanted a safe place for somebody to hear their story. They didn't have the ability at that time to take it any further. They didn't want to go to the police. Some people didn't want to tell because their parents were still living and they didn't want their parents to know. It was a lot of reasons. But it's like sometimes I felt like my hands were like handcuffed because I had all this information, but I couldn't do anything with it. So I had to be there for them. That was what my responsibility was, to be there for them. And so that's what I did. And that's why I ended up getting my own therapist, because I couldn't absorb all of that and have nowhere to take it to.
Right.
You know, so I had to have somewhere to take it for myself, you know. But for that reason, the list has never been published. You know, if people had wanted to confront, they're offenders and take it, I would have supported them 1,000%. You know, anyone that has ever come to me and said that's what they wanted to do, they had my support 1,000%. I've met people literally because they, you know, they wanted to deal with that and they needed that support. So, you know, that is part of what I've done. And what I recommend for parents now, just this past week, I had 2 people contact me for information, for educational information. You know, the silent epidemic is now available on YouTube. So one person I directed to YouTube that they could watch it there. The other sister, I shared just different video clips because she was dealing with younger children. So, you know, I shared different information that she could use. But I literally have all kind of programs and presentations that I've put together, but they have to be taught because it's not a matter of just reading the material because it's so vast,
Right.
you know, and so you really need an opportunity to just really learn, you know, everything that needs to be taught. So I still have presentations available for children from Kita Aleph through high school. You know, we tried doing it once at the Racayah. A couple of times we tried setting it up, but the parents didn't send their children out. You know, there's things that have been brought to us. Like one time a situation was brought to us about a child that had been molested. So when it was brought to us and it was brought from a rumor, we contacted the parent. Listen, you know, very delicately, it's been brought to our attention. We just want to let you know this may be happening with your child or may have happened with your child. Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It wasn't 3 weeks later, the social workers had gotten word of it in the city. They contacted the parent and let the parent know exactly what had happened. And it was true. That child had been impacted, you know. So, you know, those are kind of things that we have dealt with. For me, I feel like every parent should learn this information themselves. They should be well equipped because I wasn't equipped as a parent. I didn't know any of this kind of stuff. I never even knew to teach your dode and your ima about sexual assault or molestation. It never crossed my mind in the kingdom of God that something like this would be happening, you know. So I didn't have the tools. Parents need to have the tools. Parents need to ensure that they have a strong and safe family environment where their children are comfortable coming to tell them what has happened, you know. And children have to be educated at every level. Just like every year you have, like so many times through the year, you have a fire drill at the school. Every year you need to have a review of this information. You know, and I really, even though I know that at Akvah, they do, like at elementary levels, it's not mandatory in school, but middle school and high school, they'll do more. But I just really feel like it's important for our children to hear some of these things from us, not from someone else. You know, that's just my personal opinion. So I really pray that parents will go ahead and teach their children. It's not enough to tell your child, if somebody touch you, you better come tell me. That's not enough.
Right.
It's so much more than that. It's so much more vast than that, you know. And so I pray that parents will hear, you know. I have another, on my YouTube channel, I have a section called Keeping Our Baby Safe with Safta Racayah. And I've made some videos that I've put on there, you know, that are available, as well as, like I say, the presentations that I'm more than willing to share that information and to sit down and to talk. But not one-on-one because it's too much. You know, you get a group of parents, get a group of people, and we'll sit down and we'll do this, you know. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Actually, let me see.
Oh, you got some of your own questions, huh?
Because I remember I wrote something down. I just can't remember what it was. I think I already asked you. Let's see. What was that? Okay, so basically, what changes do you think still need to happen to better protect the children in the community?
Education.
Does it?
No, that's not it. First and foremost, education. Secondly, making sure that you have a loving, functional home, not a dysfunctional home. By dysfunctional, I mean where children feel fear because of what's going on in the house. There are situations with domestic violence. Our children are experiencing that. There are situations with bullying. waking your child up in the morning and the first thing they hear is screaming, yelling, and hollering is not healthy. It's not productive. It doesn't keep them safe. There are a lot of things. So the children, their education, first of all, the parents have to be educated. The format that Maslan had when they go into schools and teach, because Maslan has their own programs that they teach. They have a triangle program. It's the teacher, it's the parent, it's the child. Everybody in that environment has to be educated and on the same page. So education, definitely. Making sure that your home is safe and your children feel safe and secure. Making sure that everybody that you know is on the same page. Teaching your children that there's a difference between a safe secret and an unsafe secret. Mm-hmm. A safe secret is something that you're eventually...
we learned this when we was little. I remember this one.
It's something that you'll eventually tell, like a surprise birthday party
Right.
for somebody. A secret is something that makes you feel in your stomach kind of sick, that you can never tell. You know, children understanding the difference between a safe touch and an unsafe touch. A lot of times they used to use good touch, bad touch, but sexual stimulation feels good.
Right.
So you can't call that a bad touch. So they say safe touch and unsafe touch. You know, making sure your children understand that, making sure that they feel comfortable disclosing that they have what you call your safe people, your safe adults that, you know, you can go and talk to if something happens. Teaching children just basic anatomy so that they have the proper names for their parts of the body, so that they're not calling it an eggplant or a cookie or a cookie jar or a honey pot or, you know, a peewee. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times children, we make our children feel that sex is dirty and bad when we take those names and want to hush them up or make them seem... When children are learning as children, as babies, when you're teaching them eyes, nose, ears, penis, vagina, you just keep it flowing. You don't separate it and make it like it's something bad. Mm-hmm. We plant those seeds early on. You know what I'm saying? So those are, you know, just like you teach your children about bullying, to not let nobody bully you, you have to teach them about those kind of things. It's a lot. Those are some of the things that definitely need to be done, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So the next question is, you were a member of the community. Right. Why aren't you now?
Why am I not a member of the community now? Okay, so every year at Memorial Passover and Yom Kippur, there are what they call adjustments made in the community. People are either reinstated to something that they may have been sat down from, or they are put out. So I was put out. Mm-hmm. In 2013, I was put out. But full disclosure, full transparency, I sent Rahbe a letter and let him know, in view of what has happened, I am taking a position in regards to sexual abuse in the community. And I appreciate what you have done, but it hasn't been enough. So I'm going to take a sabbatical, first of all, because I had spent 30-something years, like 35 years in the community. I wasn't just ready to just walk away and leave. You know, I had to process that. Right. So in processing it, I said, okay, well, I'll take a sabbatical. I'll take a year and I'll think about what I want to do and how I want to move forward. Mind you, I had been writing letters and had concerns since like 2007 about things that we're in 2013 now.
Just things in general.
Things in general, things that I had been hearing about, things that I felt that were destroying the community from inside, you know, things that I felt were a major concern that needed to be addressed. I wrote that letter in like December of 2007, you know, and I got a response because I probably still have the letter in my papers in there. You know, I filed everything. But that's what happened. You know, I got put out. But like I say, in full transparency, I had sent the letter that I'm taking a sabbatical. I'm not going to wear fringes and cords of blue. I'm going to wear blue jeans once a week on Yom Shlishis. And when y'all see me in blue jeans, I want y'all to think about the pedophiles. I had a list of things of what I was going to do and what I wasn't. Oh, I was locking my hair. We weren't allowed to wear locks back then. I'm locking my hair. I had like a list. I'm doing this. I ain't doing this. I'm doing this. I ain't doing this. How could they not put me out? That'd be like you a parent. Your child come home and tell you, I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And it's an adult child, okay? Because I was grown. I'm doing this in your house.
Right.
And I'm not doing this and I'm not doing. What parent you know is going to say, oh, cool beans, it's okay. You can do what you want.
No, ma'am.
Parent going to be like, oh, no, you not. You got to go. Not under my roof. So I'm not mad. I'm not upset. And at the end of the letter, I put in there, if you have to put me out, I understand. You have to do what you have to do, but I have to do what I am called on and feel like I am obligated to do. Mm-hmm. This is what I must do. Harriet Tubman had to do what she had to do with freeing the slaves. I'm sure she probably didn't enjoy all of what she had to do. Malcolm X had to do what he had to do. Marcus Garvey had to do what he had to do. Martin Luther King had to do what he had to do. Anyone who has ever taken a stand for a cause did it because they truly believed in it and felt that that was their calling. I did what I felt that the universe required me to do. Was it pleasant? No. Was it lonely? Yes. Was it painful? Yes. Did it take me years to heal from it? Yes. But I did what I felt that I was obligated to do. So, it is what it is. And I've been asked about coming back into the community, and I could go through the process and request but I don't need that at this point. As long as I am not seen as an enemy, I'm always going to work on behalf of my people. And my works speak for themselves.
Right.
So, I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to stand on what I feel is right and just and humane. So I don't feel a need to go back into that lifestyle at this point, And full transparency also, I am grappling with if I consider myself at this point a Hebrew Israelite. I no longer know if I am a Hebrew Israelite because of research that I've done and other considerations that I've looked into. So I don't know. So I don't feel a sense of necessity to follow all of those guidelines because being a Hebrew Israelite meant I wore the fringes and I wore the cords of blue and I celebrated the Chagim and I observed certain things. I don't feel that necessity at this point because I'm still looking at who I am becoming. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that fits me anymore. So as long as I am a woman of integrity, of morality, of truth, and I stand on principles that my parents taught me. I didn't learn this in the community. I was raised on these things. If I can be that, as I try to get more into a spiritual connection, not a religious or a philosophical connection, but a spiritual connection, that's what's important to me right now.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
And I don't judge anyone if that's what you identify as. Hallelujah. I don't judge. I don't condemn. I don't blame. None of that. But I want the same respect. Don't judge me because I no longer see myself as that.
Right.
Just love me for who I am, being a righteous person. Because you could be a Muslim, you could be a Buddhist, you could be a Jewish. I don't care what you attach yourself to. If your vibrational frequency is on the low level and you're manipulative, you're oppressive, you're controlling, you're hurting other people, you are not that. So, just be those things. Live by those values.
Just be a good person.
Be a good person. Live by those values and principles. You got good people and bad people in every nationality, in every ethnicity, in every community. Well, I don't want to use every, but just about.
Right.
It exists. So.
Yep, definitely does. Okay. Why do you use the term universe or source as opposed to Yah or God or healing spirit?
Because God I grew up with going to church. Okay. And God is what we used initially when I first came to the kingdom. Then we were told that Yah was a better term to use than God. So we began using Yah. Because I'm on this journey and this spiritual quest and search to become more in tune with source energy, God and Yah just doesn't feel right for me at this point. That's not to say at some point I might not come back to it, but right now that does not work for me. I feel like it's something bigger, something else.
You feel like the word was attached to a certain kind of idea?
Yes, I do. I feel like it is attached to an idea, and some of that idea is rooted in religion, in Christianity. And I'm not a Christian. Christianity allowed slavery. Christianity has allowed all types of horrible things. And I like using the words all and every, because you don't know.
Right.
But many, probably most religions were a thought or a way of life before someone took and commandeered them and made them into a religion. You know what I'm saying? And it's a box of control, controlling people and dictating to people. And none of that works for me right now. So I have to have the freedom to roam the heavens and roam the universe and look and find out and tap into, and it's not like when you grow up going to church, you've been indoctrinated. That's a whole program that was laid out for years, So that was fed to me as a child. For 30 years, I took those teachings of Hebrewisms and I took that. But now with me in the search that I'm on now, it's not like I have a church that I'm going to or a specific community that I'm involved in that's teaching these things for me to pick and choose and look and say that resonates with me. So I'm on a search. I'm on a quest. And I meet new people, information as I meditate and look for what I want from the universe and require from the universe. Information comes to me. If it's a YouTube video, if it's something else somewhere else, it's an individual, so that's why.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
It does. Okay. How and why did you start the Living Chronicles podcast?
So how and why Living Chronicles? Living Chronicles Podcast Series really was born out of that writing project that I did all those years ago with the students. I believe only we can write our story. Share your journey.
Exhibit A.
No one else can write our story for us. This is our story, and we have to tell it. We have to have, I don't like to use the word history, his story, where someone else is telling. You're living, you're right here. Share your story.
Right.
Our children need to know. Our children, our grandchildren need to know why we came here. They need to know why we stayed here in the face of adversity. They need to know what our belief system was and what our belief system is. They need to have a connection. And the only way they have that connection is through hearing those stories. Children walk past you, they don't even know you. We don't know each other. And from doing this podcast series, I have had so many people just call me or walk up to me on the bus, in the Americas, in Beersheba. I love the series. I love it, and they love hearing other people's stories. It's like, I didn't know that about that person. Wow, that was so profound. And so to me, it's a necessity. It's really a necessity. It kind of saddens me that so many people that I have asked, if I've done, I don't know what, 13 or 14, 12 episodes at this point, if I've done that many, I've asked 3 times that many people. And so many people don't want to. Some people may not want to because of me, because it's me. She's not in a nation like that. We can't really trust her like that. I don't really know. That may be some people's reason. Some people a lot of people have told me, well, I'm kind of camera shy. I really don't, But this is our legacy. Right. Our children, our grandchildren need to know. Now, they go to Akvah or any school they go to, and they learn all about the Holocaust. They learn all about the people that established the state of Israel. How can you not know our story? And we could write books. But for me, that's a much longer process to sit down and write a book, to get it edited, to get it printed, and then have them read it. And most children don't like to read anyway.
Definitely don't.
But everybody's on TikTok. Everybody's on Instagram. I can make a reel, a 2-minute reel, and it catches somebody's attention. Then they might go to YouTube and watch the whole video. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like it is imperative that we share our journey with our children, with our grandchildren, with our great-grandchildren. So that's why I do Living Chronicles Podcast. And I'm inviting everyone, please call me.
Come tell y'all story.
Come tell your story. Our babies need it.
Okay.
You got another question?
I have another question. If you could interview anyone past or present, who would it be?
If I could interview, you mean from the community or just period?
From the community. From
the community, past or present. I'd love to interview Rahbe.
I knew you was about to say that. I was waiting.
But you know what? I read Ima Tikva's book. You can take it home with you if you want to
Which
read
one?
it. The Emergence. I read her life story. I got it on a Yom Shishi. I got home about 1 o'clock that Shishi.
Oh, that's the book he was talking about?
I read until 6 o'clock in the evening. I devoured that book.
Oh, wow.
It was so good. And in the process of me putting together this game, that the Kingdom Chronicles game, I've been reading the, not the Day of the Show of Strength, the Ramla 7. That book is so good. It just, it's so good. You know, there's so much history that our children know absolutely nothing about.
Now I want to read it. I say now I want to read it.
Yeah. For me, all of these books should be required reading, not just Rahbe's books of God, the Black Man of Truth. And those are educational, doctrinal kind of books. But you need the novels because that's what really catches children. You know, these need to be plays. They need to be reenacted. Every year we need to have 1 or 2 major productions, you know, where we see the day of show of strength, where we see the day when they went to Tel Aviv and they were going to renounce their American citizenship the first time and they got arrested, you know, all of that. So, but I want to interview so many people. I just wish they would go ahead and, you know, not be afraid. Just sit down and let's just have this conversation. Yeah.
Y'all heard her. Y'all come. Go ahead and make y'all appointments. What's going on? Okay, so we have section 2 trivia questions.
The trivia questions. So these are the trivia questions right here. These are little cards that I made. And they in different categories. Fill in the blank. I'm not doing any of those because even though the answers are on there, I probably don't even know them. Were you there for a specific event? Your favorites, those are the yellow ones, and the green ones are your personal thoughts on something. So
my favorites?
No, me.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
you want to do an interview? You want me to interview you about your life journey?
No, ma'am.
So I'm going to pick 5. I'm going to let you read them because some of them have answers on them. And I don't
need you cheating. Trying to.
Yeah, I'm not going to cheat, you know. I'm going to do mostly favorites. Oh, I don't have a green one. Okay, so here, you read it.
Okay. First, we got to straighten all these out because they cricket. All right, so your personal thoughts on the effects of public education versus communal education.
Ooh, the effects
This is a nice question.
Of public education versus communal education. I am of the belief that public education, and it's not just a belief, again, research, studying, public education is just a part of a system and institution that prepares children all over the planet, especially Western education, possibly European education, prepares them to be somebody else's employee. They learn just enough to do the job, but not enough for them to excel and do something. When we had Kingdom School and Holiness, our children learned a whole nother type of curriculum. And they had another sense of national pride. You understand what I'm saying? So what they learned was much more relevant. Reading, writing, and arithmetic has its place. But that's not the end-all, be-all. And just like I was saying, they can go to Akvah and learn, or any school, and learn Israeli history. But what are they learning about African history? What are they learning about our community? What, and I know that Imam Samaki, Hallelujah, has published those books now that are part of the curriculum for my student and taboo.
Right.
But I think there's still more, and I'm very happy to see that so many of our young people have graduated from school and are getting back into Akvah. So we're getting more of our teachers back. When I was there, it was like a third Russian teachers, a third Israeli teachers, a third from the community. And then it got down, it was Mora Delia and Moray Uri,
Right.
Moray Smaki. So yeah, we need ours. So yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Favorite thing to do for fun?
Favorite thing to do for fun?
Reading books, y'all.
I don't read as much as I used to. I used to devour books. I hardly ever read now. Favorite thing to do for fun? I don't know. I like to dance. I really like to dance. So, but I like a dance partner, when we're doing not the stepping that they do in Chicago, because I'm not from Chicago. But in Pittsburgh, we had our own style. It was more like a swing kind of thing. And if I had a partner, we'd be having date night every week and dancing.
Okay, fill in the blank. And what year was the day of the Show of Strength?
I believe it was 1986. It's April something, 1986.
Yep, April 22nd, 1986. Y'all, this is a history lesson too. Stop playing. Okay, were you there? Kingdom School in Holiness. I thought it was of Holiness.
Kingdom School in Holiness.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually was. My first year here, I was put in the the highest class for the high school students when I came in. So I went.
You was 24.
I was 24.
So they just had everybody up there.
Yeah, I was in Kingdom School in Holiness. Nasik Shaliak was one of our instructors. I remember I did something stupid in his class, but Nasik Shaliak was one of our instructors. I don't remember all the other instructors, but yep, I was in Kingdom School in Holiness until it wasn't long. And I think we got sent to the Moshav or something, and that was the end of that. And then I ended up getting married, and that was that.
Okay. Best friend or friends? Your favorite best friend or friends? What kind of question is? Sorry.
Huh?
What you mean, best friends or friends?
Your best friend or your best friends? Who was my best friend or my best friends?
Oh, okay. I get it.
I would have to say it was Dora Malaya. She was like a big sister more than anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
I'm finished?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll stick these back in here. Okay.
All right. So we're on to another question.
Okay.
How do you envision our youth in regard of them continuing what we've spent many years, you have spent many, you all have spent many years of your lives building and being a part of? What advice would you give them?
My prayer is that our youth will understand the significance of collective and do in their own way. It will not be done the same way that we did it, but do in their own way things that will sustain our people as a body of people. If it's educationally, if it's financially, if it's buying land, whatever. But I pray that they will, because you have so many youth at this point who are living in Tel Aviv, making big money and spending their money on whatever they want to spend it on, You have those who have walked away from this for whatever reasons that they may have and are living an individual kind of lifestyle. For me, community meaning our people, meaning right now, for the most part, first priority is the color of the skin, that connection, that they will do what they can to give back and, continue to help build a positive, a righteous society of integrity, So that is what I pray to see. And I do see some of the youth, the young people. When I say youth, young people, even people, in their 30s, 40s, 50s, but yourself in your 20s, your peer, how do you all see, giving back? Do you even consider giving back?
Of course.
Okay.
We were just talking about this last week. What?
Really?
Well, not last week. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I was talking about how, the center that I want to open up.
Right.
I wanted
right.
to mainly the original idea was for the community.
Okay.
Because I know that there's so many people in my peers specifically that's been through challenging experiences and they didn't have nowhere to go. They didn't have nobody to talk to and stuff. So I feel like you need a center like that for children in general, but for our community, that's something that I really want to bring,
So when you start in school?
Hey y'all, stop playing. We about to go and learn next year.
That was another thing that I loved about the library. Students would come through there, and we would have the greatest conversations.
Man, we definitely
We would have the greatest conversations, and they had a safe place that they could come and talk about anything and everything, and I didn't embarrass them. I've made some mistakes. There are some children that I apologize to, that I was in my mean days when I didn't do right. But, it was an opportunity for me to see them. I remember Sarah Yakim telling me something once. I was like, I don't watch BET and all that hip hop stuff. He said, I do. I said, why? He said, that way I know where they are. And I can hold a conversation with them. And when I started doing that, and they be in the library talking about so-and-so and da-da-da-da-da, and I chime in, they say, Maura, what you know about that? I'm like, I know. But it opened doors, and that was beautiful. So our children and our adults need that, So
That's definitely true. I remember the library was our spot. I don't know if you remember me, Batia, and Kaya. We stayed in that library. You remember you bought us that set, that Hello Kitty set?
Hello what?
The Hello Kitty set, the little diary set.
Hello Kitty set?
Mm-hmm.
I did? Mm-hmm. No, I don't remember.
Yep.
Okay,
so the next, I actually have a question.
Okay.
That I wrote down. Okay, so what is this? Okay, what parts of the foundation of the community do you feel are most important for us to preserve?
What part of the foundation of the community do I feel you most important to preserve? Diet and exercise, wellness, unity, collectiveness, and righteousness.
What do you mean by righteousness?
Righteousness, like we were saying earlier, just be a good person. Okay. Be a person of integrity. Be a person of values and principles. Be a person that is not going to stand by and watch somebody be harmed. Not be controlling, manipulative, a liar, a thief. Mm-hmm. Eradicate all of those things,
Okay. What 3 things do you want most for the youth?
For the youth? The same thing that I want for everybody. I want them to have peace of mind. I want them to have happiness. I want them to have financial success and wealth. And some people feel like that's a material thing and people shouldn't have it. But the more you have, the more you can give, the more you can do for your people. It's no joke that, we don't have the financial stability or wealth to buy land and to build homes. That's important. Mm-hmm. We need to be able to have our own. So those are things that I definitely want for them. I want for all of us.
Important things. There's a saying that hindsight is 20/20. When you look back over your life, are there things you would have done differently?
Yes and no. I know. Yes and no. Yes, obviously, if I knew some of the things that I know now, I would have made different choices. I've made my share of stupid mistakes in my lifetime, dumb mistakes. I obviously would have protected my children, There's things that I just would have done differently. Like they say, when you know better, you do better.
Right.
But on the flip side of that, if I am a universal being, and my purpose was to be who I am. Part of who I am was made by some of the things that I have experienced. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. No. Yes and no.
Okay. I think I have a question.
Okay.
Let me just check.
What you're seeing, if your question is the same as my question.
Huh? Sorry, hold on. I'm just trying to understand what am I looking at.
You hun at your own stuff or at my stuff?
At my stuff. Oh, okay. This is the next question. Okay.
It's typed, so it ain't like it's bad handwriting.
I'm confused. I'm trying to understand what I'm trying to understand. Hold on. Oh, okay. So I'm pretty sure you learned a lesson. This is for the question that I just asked. I'm pretty sure you learned whatever lessons you had to learn, and you went through all of the things that you had to go through in order to get to who you are today. Now, what is a lesson that lessons that you would like to directly give to the youth? Something that you learned.
So is that in correlation to my question
to
about
the first
takeaways
from the 2020 in hindsight?
So ask the question again.
Basically, I'm asking, what lesson did you learn throughout your experience would you like to directly give to the youth? Okay, so that you can take my question off of there about the life lessons and the takeaways that I had from there, because it's pretty much the same thing. But I like the way you worded it. Okay. Diet. Definitely dietary consciousness and understanding the significance of dietary consciousness of health and wellness, mental health, physical health, spiritual health. That is one of the biggest takeaways that I received. I grew up in a meat eating family. We had a freezer big as that couch full of meat, so we ate a lot of meat. But the dietary consciousness is one of the most impactful things that I learned from this. That's one. The other thing I think would be spirituality, knowing what spirituality really is, knowing how to identify it from religion and doctrine that is not connected to spirituality, having that connection and that awareness and consciousness with source energy. Those are the things that I would love for them to be able to tap into. Okay. Next question. Okay, do you have any goals, dreams, visions, etc. that you haven't yet accomplished that you like to accomplish? Of course. I'm only 70. I still got plenty of time. One of my dreams and my goals is to travel a lot. We talked about going to Bali. I want to travel all over, starting with Africa. I'm not so focused on the European countries first. I want to do the African countries first. I want to travel to Africa. I want to travel to the Caribbean. I want to travel. I would love to have a committed partner that was also retired, and we had the money and we could travel together. Manifestation. All right. That would be wonderful. So definitely travel is something I want to do. I want to take Living Chronicles as far as it will go. And what's after Living Chronicles, I don't know. Someday I would love for somebody else to take this over, So those are some of the things that I would love to do. To travel, see Living Chronicles go on, to reach a level of spiritual connectedness where I am one with source energy. That's a deep connection, y'all. Yeah, that's a high connection. That's a high connection. To understand source energy and be able to tap into the power that is there, to fully understand it, be able to tap into it, to manifest it for the good of myself, my family, and my people. That might seem lofty to some, like, where is she? Is she out of her mind? No, I'm not. I'm really not. When you mean fully understand, because I feel like we can never fully understand something that's not, I guess you could say physical, that's not like in your face. It's real hard to. I believe that it's possible. I just
I'm still learning the keys to make it happen. You know, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that source energy would not have created all of us and not allowed us to tap into the ability to be one with it. But we've been so misprogrammed and turned away from. I'm 70 years on the planet. I've spent my whole life, almost my whole life, learning other stuff that had nothing to do with source energy. Why are you laughing?
Because every time you say your age and on the planet, I just remember every time I'm do something. You're like, I've been 64 years on this planet, man. Like what?
I don't say that anymore though. But I'm just saying, all of my life has been to a system and institutions that have kept me away from that power. So here I am late in the game trying to get started learning something that if I had been learning this from the womb, can you imagine how powerful we would be if we learned this from the womb? And we spent all of our years on the planet doing this? But instead, we've been programmed to work within the systems that are about destruction and death.
We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. Okay. What lessons? Oh, I already asked you that.
So we can scratch that one.
Is there anything else you like to say that hasn't been covered? Anything you want to share?
I jotted down a few little notes.
Okay.
I didn't have to use it for the whole thing, but on the end, let me see. What did I say down? So I guess the only thing that I would say in closing is that my prayer is that all of us as people, as beings on this planet, are able to find joy and live in peace and harmony, you know, that all of us find it some kind of way, that all of those who have experienced trauma or pain or abuse are able to find a way to their healing. You know, those are things that I would definitely like to see. And I would like to just thank all of the people that I have come in contact with on this journey that have been an inspiration to me. You know, I don't want to start calling names because then I might forget somebody. You didn't call my name. But all of the people that I have lived with, I have had some great experiences with people that I have come to know on this journey. If I had never come to the kingdom, I would never know all of the people that I know, you know, and whatever those relationships are, good, bad, or otherwise, you know. I'm thankful for those people that have been in my life, you know. One person that I will call and during my healing journey, one of the people that helped me learn about gratitude, living in gratitude. When you're grateful every day, even if the day may not be the best day, you know, there are some people that have really helped me on that journey. One of those was Acote. Acote really helped me learn gratitude. And Doda Rukama, even though these people are younger than me, they taught me things.
Right.
Doda Rukama has always been there, not just for me, for our whole family, you know, but she's been there and been helpful.
Shout out to Doda Rukama.
Shout out to Doda Rukama. I'm sure there are plenty of other people. Doda Mavrika. One time I got sick. I was sick. Doda Mavrika took me to Meetsbay Ramon. This is when she was still living in Meetsbay. And she nursed me back to health.
Oh, wow.
Yes. You know.
What was wrong?
I don't know, because I was too stupid to even go to the Kupakalim and find out. I was so dumb. I think back on that and I was like, you so stupid. You didn't even go and find out what was wrong with you. Hey. But she fed me plenty of supplements and she gave me plenty of water. She took care of me. She really did. She nursed me back to health, you know. She did. So, I mean, there have been a lot of great people that I've come into contact with, you know, and I appreciate each and every one of them. even the knuckleheads that have crossed my path.
We all know.
Even them, I'm thankful that I learned whatever lesson I needed to learn from them, and they're no longer on my path.
Patience.
Yeah, so that I think that's pretty much, I'm sure I'm forgetting things, but I'll probably think later on, I should have said this and I should have said that, and then as I go and edit this, and I'll be like,
you gonna always have something else to add.
Yeah. But all in all, this journey it's had its challenges. It's had its painful moments. It's had the things that I've had to heal from. But I'm thankful that I am on the other side of healing. Healing is liberating. When you get to the point that you're no longer living in depression and anxiety and anger and hatred, those things tear you down. In fact, there's a book that one of my last therapist recommended that I read called The Journey. It's over there on my shelf. And that book, I'm reading the book on the bus, and it's telling you how all of the tissues in your body, all of the organs in your body regenerate. Some at 6 months, some at 3 weeks, some at 2 years, whatever. But when you have that trauma and that pain and that hatred and that anger that you hold on to, when those tissues regenerate, all of that goes into your new organ, and you will forever be diseased.
Oh, wow.
But when you rid your body of those things, your organs can redevelop and regenerate healthy. And I'm reading this on the bus, and I'm like, dang, I'm killing myself by my own choices. I'm like, I ain't no fool like that. I'm not getting ready to just keep killing myself. And I mean, literally on that spot, I just, I did the pivot immediately, And that is when my healing journey went a whole nother kind of way. So.
Basically, y'all, forgiveness is not for that person. It's for you. Y'all make sure y'all heal.
Yep.
Racayah.
Yep. Racayah. And I had to get a whole nother understanding of forgiveness, because when I used to hear the word forgiveness, I used to get mad, because it's like you're discounting what I went through. But when you have a slave, Christian-oriented mentality of forgiveness where, oh, you forgive them, you love them, you allow them back. Oh, no. I'm forgiving them for me. I'm not going to hold on to that pain, that hatred, that anger anymore. But they can stay right across the street. They are not welcome back into my circle. They have a saying that when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Right.
Okay, maybe it might have taken me 2 times, but now that I got the message, I got the memo. You stay over there. Forgiveness means that I no longer hold on to it and kill myself. It does not mean I allow you in my space ever again. If you're drowning, I'll throw you a thingy. I ain't gonna let you just drown, but I ain't jumping in to save you.
That's different.
So, see, forgiveness have you jump in and you save them. No. That's that slave turn the other cheek forgiveness. Nah. I don't live by that.
Ain't no turning cheeks over
no,
here.
No, ain't no turning cheeks. Ain't no Christian Jesus forgiveness in my, not in my field. So
we have come to the end.
Okay.
How we wrapping things up today?
Thank everybody for viewing.
Thank you, everyone, for viewing our interview with Acote Racayah, a.k.a. the librarian, a.k.a. Medea, period.
And until next time, I look forward to you all viewing, you all sharing, subscribing to the channel.
Turn on the post notifications so y'all don't miss not one video.
There you go.
Period.
And send me a message so you can come on Living Chronicles Podcast. All right. Toda by Naomi, host.
Thank you. I was here. It was nice.
All right. Peace out, y'all.